If you have ever wondered what makes you you, the answer begins with something incredibly small. Inside almost every cell in your body, there is a tiny instruction manual. That instruction manual is called DNA. DNA is one of the most important molecules in all of biology. It carries the information that determines how living organisms grow, function, and reproduce. Even though it is microscopic, its impact is enormous. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. The name may sound complicated, but the idea behind it is simple. DNA is a molecule that contains genetic information. Genetic information is the set of instructions that tells your body how to build and maintain itself. These instructions determine traits such as your eye color, hair texture, blood type, and even certain aspects of how your body responds to diseases. DNA is like a biological blueprint. Just as a building blueprint tells construction workers how to build a house, DNA tells your cells how to build and maintain your body. To understand DNA better, imagine a massive library inside each cell. This library contains detailed instructions for building proteins. Proteins are the molecules that perform most of the work in your body. They help form your muscles, repair tissues, transport oxygen in your blood, and control chemical reactions. DNA stores the instructions for making these proteins. Without DNA, your cells would not know what to do. The structure of DNA is one of the most fascinating discoveries in science. DNA has a shape known as a double helix. You can imagine it like a twisted ladder. The sides of the ladder are made of sugar and phosphate molecules, forming a strong backbone. The rungs of the ladder are made of pairs of chemical bases. There are 4 types of bases in DNA: adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. These are often represented by the letters A, T, C, and G. Adenine always pairs with thymine, and cytosine always pairs with guanine. This pairing rule is very important because it allows DNA to copy itself accurately. The order of these bases forms a code. Just like letters in the alphabet form words and sentences, the sequence of A, T, C, and G forms genetic instructions. A specific sequence of bases can instruct a cell to produce a particular protein. This sequence is called a gene. Genes are segments of DNA that contain instructions for specific traits or functions. Humans have approximately 20,000 to 25,000 genes. These genes are organized into structures called chromosomes. Chromosomes are long strands of DNA tightly packed inside the nucleus of a cell. Most human cells contain 46 chromosomes, arranged in 23 pairs. You inherit one set of 23 chromosomes from your mother, and one set from your father. That is why you share traits with both parents. Some genes come from your mother, some from your father, and together they shape who you are. One of the most remarkable features of DNA is its ability to replicate. Before a cell divides, it must make a copy of its DNA so that each new cell receives the same instructions. Because of the base pairing rules, each strand of DNA can serve as a template for creating a new complementary strand. This ensures that genetic information is passed accurately from one cell to another. This process is essential for growth, healing, and reproduction. However, DNA is not just important for individual cells. It also plays a crucial role in reproduction. When humans reproduce, specialized cells called sperm and egg cells combine. Each of these cells contains half the usual number of chromosomes. When they merge, the full set of 46 chromosomes is restored. This new combination of DNA creates a unique individual. Even siblings, who share the same parents, have different DNA combinations, which is why they are not identical unless they are identical twins. While DNA provides instructions, it does not act alone. The information stored in DNA must be read and used by the cell. This process involves another molecule called RNA. When a gene needs to be used, a segment of DNA is copied into RNA in a process called transcription. The RNA then carries the instructions to structures in the cell that build proteins. This process of converting genetic information into proteins is often described as the central dogma of molecular biology. DNA makes RNA, and RNA makes protein. Although DNA replication is highly accurate, mistakes can sometimes occur. These mistakes are called mutations. A mutation is a change in the DNA sequence. Some mutations have no effect at all. Others may change how a protein functions. In some cases, mutations can lead to diseases. For example, certain inherited disorders are caused by specific mutations in particular genes. However, mutations are not always harmful. They also provide the genetic variation that drives evolution. Over many generations, small changes in DNA can lead to new traits that help organisms survive in changing environments. DNA is not only important in biology and medicine, it has also transformed fields such as forensic science. Because each person's DNA is unique, except for identical twins, It can be used to identify individuals. Scientists can analyze DNA samples from hair, blood, or other tissues to help solve crimes or confirm family relationships. This technique, known as DNA profiling, has become a powerful tool in modern investigations. The discovery of DNA's structure in 1953 was a turning point in science. Understanding the double helix model helped scientists explain how genetic information is stored and copied. Since then, research in genetics has advanced rapidly. Scientists have mapped the entire human genome, which is the complete set of DNA in human cells. The Human Genome Project, completed in 2003, provided a detailed map of all human genes. This achievement opened new possibilities for medicine, including personalized treatments based on a person's genetic makeup. Today, scientists can even edit DNA using advanced technologies. One example is CRISPR, a powerful tool that allows researchers to make precise changes to specific genes. This technology has the potential to treat genetic diseases by correcting faulty DNA sequences. However, it also raises ethical questions about how far humans should go in altering genetic information. It is important to understand that DNA does not completely determine everything about you. While genes influence many traits, the environment also plays a major role. For example, your DNA may give you the potential to grow tall, but your actual height can be affected by nutrition and health during childhood. Similarly, lifestyle choices such as diet and exercise can influence how certain genes are expressed. The interaction between genes and environment is complex and continues to be studied by scientists. In addition to humans, every living organism has DNA. Plants, animals, fungi, and even bacteria use DNA to store genetic information. While the sequences may differ, the basic structure of DNA is the same across all forms of life. This shared genetic code is evidence of the common ancestry of living organisms. It highlights the unity of life on Earth. DNA is incredibly compact. If you were to stretch out the DNA from a single human cell, it would be about 2 meters long. Yet it fits inside a nucleus that is only a tiny fraction of a millimeter wide. This is possible because DNA is tightly coiled and organized with the help of proteins. The packaging of DNA allows cells to store vast amounts of information in a very small space. Another fascinating aspect of DNA is that only a small portion directly codes for proteins. Much of the human genome consists of sequences that do not produce proteins. For many years, scientists referred to this as junk DNA, but research has shown that some of these regions play important roles in regulating gene activity. They help control when and where genes are turned on or off. This regulation is crucial because not all genes are active at all times. For example, the genes needed for muscle cells are different from those needed for nerve cells, even though both cell types contain the same DNA. The study of DNA has revolutionized our understanding of life. It has provided insights into heredity, disease, evolution, and identity. It has allowed scientists to trace human ancestry, develop new medical treatments, and understand the biological basis of traits. Despite decades of research, there is still much to learn about how DNA works and how it influences living organisms. In simple terms, DNA is the instruction manual of life. It is the molecule that carries the information needed to build and maintain an organism. From the color of your eyes to the way your cells repair themselves, DNA plays a central role. It connects you to your parents, to your ancestors, and to every other living thing on Earth. Understanding DNA helps us understand ourselves. It reveals how life is organized at the most fundamental level. Even though it is invisible to the naked eye, DNA shapes the visible world in profound ways. It is a reminder that within the smallest structures of our cells lies the blueprint for the complexity of life.